when hiring people, really spend time, notice how you feel when you're with them.
These three qualities: listening, collaboration, and following the energy. So following the energy is not something you hear CEOs talk about much. And I'm curious, what does that mean to you? Are you following the energy when it comes to design? Are you watching people on the team and what's happening, opportunities? And how do you know what's happening inside of when you're like, bam, what's going on? How would you share with us your inner process of following external energy?
Wow. That's good. I don't really talk about that. Yeah, you and I talked about this before. We've talked about this. Yeah. How do I describe the energy? Like the noticing of, it's like literal body signals, like that I feel like sitting up, or that makes me feel alert. That person engages me, that idea piques my interest. There's a sense of kind of like it's almost my body comes awake or something like that. Or there, yeah, sort of an aliveness. It's almost like, yeah, like you can feel people's passion when they feel good about something. They feel like they're onto something. This is a good idea. What do you guys think? And then if everybody goes kind of flat, like, oh, it's just my idea, nobody else, there's no more energy around it, or sometimes somebody likes something and everyone else lights up about it, so it's, yeah. So that, yeah, what other, yeah. And eyes, people's eyes, you can see a lot in when they, when they're engaged and interested in something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because in a way, it's such an obvious thing. Why don't people talk about this more? Like you're in a meeting and everybody's turned on and excited. It's a good idea. Or you're in a meeting and like half the people are like,
Right.
And yet you go, well, I guess we're going to do it. And it's like, and
Right.
the meeting kind of ends and everything sort of frizzles out. And it's like, so it's interesting that it's not something that's named when yet it's one of the most kind of, clear indicators of
Right.
where to go.
So we are so in our heads, we always think things, we have to think about it and explain it and all of that instead of feel it, so we don't use those kind of words. That's very interesting. It makes me want to say something, is because I was talking about the CEO search. I'm looking for a CEO, and I was speaking to a woman I know, and she said, when hiring people, really spend time, notice how you feel when you're with them. And I've been really taking that to heart with the CEO search. It's been really, really interesting because, there have been people who really excited me and I wanted to talk to them in a certain way. But then there's also, which that's good. And that's kind of what I was talking about ideas. And then there's also like, what is the feeling I want from the CEO? What is it? How do I want to feel with this person? And so I want it to be somebody that I want to eat lunch with, or that I want to, that I feel really kind of at peace. Like I want to feel comfortable. I need to be able to come in and out of the company and not feel like I'm in their way or something like that. So I had to really get in touch with, how do I want to feel around this person? So I'm kind of in a way almost contradicting myself, because there's, some people make me feel really excited and other people make me feel really calm, and so I think the qualities and the places, you look for different things. So maybe in the CEO, I want someone calm, as opposed to somebody, and you want people full of ideas. I don't know, I'm contradicting myself. So, but the feeling piece, noticing the feeling, and I feel like I wasn't very clear there.
Well, I think you're in the process, and this is interesting. Here you are at 71, and you made the decision finally to step out of the CEO role. And
Right.
this is such an important decision. So of course you're going to use all of your inner discerning capacities to
Right.
make the right choice here. So first of all, what brought you, Eileen, to the decision that it was time? Was it the harrowing passage through the pandemic? Did that accelerate? I mean, here you got more clear about your purpose, but yet it's time to pass the baton.
Right. Well, you know, the truth is that before COVID, even, you know, a number of years back, I was starting to step out, and, you know, doing more work in the foundation and different things like that. And um, I think that I would say that I stepped out kind of unconsciously or irresponsibly. And I think I didn't, it didn't set down the blueprint, so to speak, of what I wanted or what I felt was important or what I felt actually worked to make this company work. So I feel like I was called back in with COVID to really get back into the middle and define, you know, sort of the essence of it and lay the form or the blueprint of what seems important. Yeah.
And
So
you've shared a little bit about the blueprint from a design standpoint.
right.
When it comes to, for example, your sustainability
Right.
values, I know you created something called Horizon 2030
Right.
for the Eileen Fisher Company. Can you tell us what's the Horizon 2030 that you're shooting for?
Right. Well, there's different components to it, and there's, of course, measuring of the, you know, carbon footprint and all of those kind of things, and chemicals and water, and you know that, and trying to do better. But I think there's another thing that we discovered when we started that work, which was that we actually had some projects that were doing making real impact in terms of like drawing down carbon, you know, the regenerative wool project that we're doing, or organic cotton, where you're actually changing, you know, the land and making it, you know, making things better. So, or projects where we're using closed loop technology, cleaning the water as we go. Water is a huge problem in the clothing industry, a lot of pollution. But we can, what we realized when we were laying that, because we had done Vision 2020 earlier than that, where we were laying down the metrics that we wanted to achieve. And what we came up with is that we want to have more positive impact. We don't want to just get to net zero or just get to, we want to actually make positive difference, not just do no harm, but actually make things better.
Can you give me some examples of what that would look like?
Well, like what I was just talking about, like the processes of like regenerative agriculture. So the way regenerative agriculture, I don't probably have to tell you because that's probably something you understand, but actually in terms of farming with the sheep, the way they herd the sheep, that it actually, the land becomes more, the biodiversity or the ecosystem becomes more enlivened by just paying attention to and using different methods. And so same with, you know, like, well, and what I was saying also about the water, cleaning the water, and, you know, another thing that we're doing is working with farmers to transition their farms from conventional cotton to organic cotton, or from conventional linen to organic linen, because right now only 1% of the world's cotton is organic, and we really need to see it, you know, really move. And so whatever we can do, partnering with farmers to actually create more farms that are producing organic cotton or organic linen, like that.
Now, Eileen, in going from close to $500 million in sales to 250 million, did you have to compromise on some of your environmental initiatives?
We had to slow things down, you know, like some of our projects, like our Renew project was closed for a while, where we take back the clothes from the customers, and our Waste No More project, where we remake the clothes that we can't sell, so we closed those down and scaled them back. Renew is back up and operating now, and Waste No More is getting back up and operating more. But yeah, and I think some, I'm sure that we also had to scale back our team. And so in the process of doing that, we had a separate social consciousness team, and we still have key members of that team, but we scaled the team back. And over the years, we've been working to embed the work into all the teams that are working, into the design department, into the sourcing departments, and all of that. So all the fabric, all those people think, sustainability as an integral part of the work that they do. So, but some of the organizations we supported were a critical moment where we couldn't even, pay the fees. And so that was a tough year. But we're seeing, I think this time has brought us to more clarity of things. Now we're preparing to do more impact work. And what's interesting, and you were mentioning it before, that though we're smaller, we're actually profitable. And, it seems like now we're questioning growth and what is the model of success, and how much do we want to grow, and how much profit do we need to do the projects we want to do? What is it we want to do, and how much impact can we have? And so we need more resources to have more impact. But, how much is too much, and where, that's an interesting conversation. So there's a lot going on in the world of sustainability and in apparel around, just consumption, and are we promoting consumption, and how much do we advertise, and is that building demand? Anyway, this is a very difficult place to be, running a business and then wondering if growth is okay. I mean, I think if we're having positive impact, then growth is good. You still have, a lot of moving around of goods, and, a lot of returns and things like that. And, just a lot of things to constantly deal with. So there's always impact, but, anyway, how do we keep having more positive impact, and how much money does it take? It's interesting because years ago, I remember I was telling the story that I had, I was renovating my house, and I had a fairly small house at the time, and it was dark and it was in the woods. And I was told as the year was coming to the end that I made more money than I thought I'd made. And so I was like, oh, what should I do? And what I ended up doing is putting more skylights into my house. So I'm carrying that kind of idea forward, how does making more money bring more light into the company and into the world? That's what I'm interested in.